Boom! We have a heavyweight jiu-jitsu match today with everybody's favorite 580-pounder Derek, the white belt on the left, going up against Anthony, the 300-pounder on the right, who's now underneath Derek. Derek already hit a really fast takedown because he was able to use a snap down, and now he's working behind Anthony. Anthony's sitting out in the sit-out position, however, Derek is underneath the armpits, which allows him to pull Anthony wherever he wants him to. And typically when you have two big guys, you're going to see a much slower pace, but Derek is already putting the pace on Anthony. He's moved into side control, and he's not letting Anthony turn out to his side to start shrimping. Every time that Anthony tries to push against him, he comes right back in, and he's definitely bringing the heat today. Obviously, weight is always important in jiu-jitsu, but especially for larger guys, and chest control becomes a main point where you want to focus and try and push down them as much as you can. If you can control their chest, you can keep them pinned to the mat so they won't be able to escape. Unfortunately for Derek, Anthony's able to use an underhook to get up, but Derek's quickly going to the front head and he's scooting behind Anthony to try and take his back. Anthony's not able to stop Derek from putting his hooks in, so Derek is very easily able to turn him. But one thing to know about larger people is that if you're controlling their back and you have to have their weight on top of your legs, you're going to get tired, so it's much easier and smarter for Derek to come out from the back control and instead work towards mount. From mount, Derek passes the arm because he's looking for his first submission. He wants to make sure that he can lock up the gable grip for complete control. Once he has the grip, he can dismount and go into side control. He's trying to finish this head and arm choke, and he wants to lean his head forward to keep the arm trapped. Once he has the arm trapped, he has time to walk on his feet towards the head to add some pressure towards the neck. Once he's in a strong spot, he can apply some pressure, squeeze, and wait for the tap. You don't normally see a submission that fast, especially with two larger people, so it's great to see that Derek already got a submission. But now it's time for the quick question of the day, and my question is, how do you deal with larger opponents? Do you prefer not to make eye contact so you don't have to roll with them at all, or do you have other techniques such as using butterflies so you can elevate their weight off of you? Let me know in the comments below what is your solution when you're rolling with a much larger opponent. We're seeing that Anthony is reaching too far for the shot, and this lets Derek get another easy snap and he can work behind Anthony. Anthony's going to have to keep his elbows in and then close the distance before reaching too far because it's really easy to stop those type of takedowns. And as Anthony was trying to sit to guard, Derek decided to hit him with a double leg pass by pinching both legs together, and then he can walk around the guard right into side control. Now Anthony has to deal with the same monster from the same position we saw earlier, but Derek doesn't seem like he's stopping the pressure at any time soon. Anthony's looking to go towards Turtle, but it's not the best attempt because Derek is already behind him and he's throwing in the same hooks from earlier, and he's trying to get control of Anthony and roll him to his side once again. It's looking like a little bit of deja vu here for Anthony as Derek's letting go and he's ignoring the back, coming to top mount and looking for another head and arm choke. However, when we're looking at this head and arm choke, it has a few problems as to why this submission isn't working. He's trying as hard as he wants and he can squeeze a lot with this pressure, but the first thing we have to notice is his hips are way too high. He also doesn't have his left arm nearly deep enough to apply any pressure to Anthony to force a choke. Anthony's able to frame against his head and push off of him, and now Anthony's even looking for his own Kimura attempt. However, this Kimura is going to be extremely difficult to pull off. Derek is not too threatened for his positioning at all, and Anthony is also stuck on bottom. There's also another huge point is that when he tries to rip this out, your chest should be helping you pull. If you can't use your chest to help you pull, you're never going to pull it out when your opponent doesn't want to give you the arm. That's why you always hear about leverage in jiu-jitsu. Clearly, Anthony's a very large person, but he can't just pull at anybody's arm if he doesn't have the right positioning to do this. He also should be using his legs to try and push Derek off of him. We can see here that Derek is very easily able to apply a ton of pressure towards Anthony, and he's even starting to frame on the neck, which is going to make Anthony really uncomfortable. If they're uncomfortable, they're going to move and give you new opportunities, submissions, passes, etc. On another note, if you want to help me out in any way possible, feel free to like the video, comment on it, subscribe, any of those things help out. Plus, if you ring the bell, you won't miss any of my videos. It's always great to try and help me out so I can make more videos for you guys. I love to see this pass that Derek is setting up, and I think it's extremely good to use at all belt levels. He's applying a lot of pressure on the neck, which allows him to use his foot to push against the lock to get his leg out of the half guard position, and now he can move into side control while still maintaining that strong side control / crossface position. The great thing about this crossface / bonus head position is that they don't have too many options about what they want to do to try and escape. Clearly Anthony's in the worst position, so he has to be the one trying to get out of here. But if you're Derek, you're wondering, where do you go from here? One easy option is that you can take the mount just by sliding your knee across the belly, but you could also go to north-south if you want to try and look for some lat chokes and other attacks. If you feel like you have a problem trying to escape when you're on bottom, you need to chain some moves together, which is what Anthony should be doing here. He's doing a nice job pushing Derek away from him, but he has to combine it with some other things. If he can push and shrimp, attack a leg, push the arms again, he might be able to escape these bad positions. Unfortunately, only doing one move at a time is going to be tough to get away from Big D because he's so ginormous. Also, Big D has one advantage, and that's that I'm telling him what to do. I'm saying that he should grab the Kimura, and he decides to wrap up the Kimura lock. He pulls Anthony to the side, which is going to give him some better leverage so he can rip this Kimura out. Anthony's doing a nice job trying to keep the arm in between his legs, so Derek does one big lift to rip it out, he rotates, and Anthony is forced to tap. Normally, I don't try to intervene at all when I'm watching two guys roll, I'm just recording them. But when a submission is that obvious, like that Kimura, how Anthony was putting it on his stomach, I tell him just to grab it so they can get better at jiu-jitsu and find the submissions easier. Plus, who can really argue if the coach is willing to help you out and give you extra pointers to make you better at jiu-jitsu? A common question I see about jiu-jitsu is if you need wrestling, and with how everything is changing, yes, you do need wrestling for no-gi jiu-jitsu. Not so much for gi, but I'll talk about that in a future video. Derek is a state champion wrestler, so he has a lot of wrestling experience over Anthony, and he goes for a throw-by shot. Unfortunately for Derek, Anthony did a nice job protecting himself as he was able to back up, block the hands, and Derek is now getting a little rowdy looking for the next takedown. And if you don't believe me that he's getting rowdy, just watch this shot. He moves the hands and he shoots from a mile away and he still gets stuffed. Anthony's putting him in the front head and he's going to try and force Derek to the wall. Unfortunately for Anthony, he's not going to be able to come back from this because the round is about to end. If you want great gear, make sure to check out my link in the description below to get gear from xmartial.com. Also, thank you to all my current viewers and patrons. If you're a patron member, remember I just put out a new video where I went up against 2 white belts at once. Thanks for watching.